Well, I think the investigation shook the foundations of this institution because what we said was true. And our investigation showed that in the Boston Archdiocese, there was no morality when it came to protecting children. There was no safety for children. So I think what you have is an image that is promoted by the Catholic Church contrasted with the reality and the facts that we uncovered. Well, I think in the United States, I have to give the bishops a lot of credit. 4 months after we began publishing our stories, the bishops in the United States, they all had a big meeting in Dallas, Texas. And they got together and very quickly they approved a document called the Charter for the Protection of Children and Young People. And this was an attempt by the United States bishops to really come to terms with this issue of child sex abuse and to do as much as they could to prevent child sexual abuse from happening in the past and also to address the abuses that had happened in the past. So I think the American bishops did a pretty good job. When it comes to the Vatican, I would say they have not done such a good job. Several years ago, Pope Francis established a commission to study clergy sexual abuse and come up with ways to prevent it. He also said that he would set up a tribunal that would hold bishops accountable. That's bishops who cover up sexual abuse by their priests. And so far, nothing has really happened. And I think that was one of the reasons the clergy sex abuse investigation was so powerful. When we published our stories, this is way back in 2002, there was no social media, there was no Facebook, there was no Twitter, but people were beginning to use the internet to a very large extent all over the world. And so when we published our stories, we published the church's internal documents along with the stories so people could see that what we were reporting, what we were saying, was not based on anonymous sources, it was not our opinion. People could go right to the church documents. Well, it was a very happy occasion. The journalism did a lot of good. I mean, I think we made it possible for tens of thousands of clergy sex abuse victims around the world to step forward and talk about what had happened to them and get some justice. So I think that was very, very powerful. And the movie really magnified the power of our journalism. And I think the most wonderful thing about the movie is that the survivors of clergy sex abuse all over the world love this movie because it really validates their story. I mean, for decades, survivors and victims of clergy sex abuse found it difficult to get people to believe that or to take them seriously. And so I think the movie was a wonderful way of validating the stories and the experiences of the victims. And, you know, for that reason, seeing the movie win the Best Picture and Best Screenwriting Academy Awards was very, very, very satisfying.